Hello friends, it's me, and today, Style Theory 10 Weeks Experiment. Let's check out, do hair growth products actually work? Style Theory, Day 1, Day 30. Ooh. From the Style Theorist. Together, let's go. Let's start.
Have you ever had the nightmare where you look in the mirror and realize that you've lost all of your hair? Yeah, me too. If you want to find out how to save your hair and stop the hair loss nightmares, keep watching.
Style Theory.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Style Theory, the show that's pulling back the curtain bangs to uncover the secret to stopping hair loss. More than
Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory.
80% of men and nearly 50% of women deal with hair loss over the course of their life. This comes in the form of thinning hair, receding hairlines, and yes, even the big one, going bald. But hair
Well, it happened to me during COVID period, the global pandemic period. It happened to me.
insecurity isn't limited to just the top of your head. For some, it's on their face. As we saw in our first shaving episode, not every beard grows the same. Many people struggle with patchy facial hair, while some don't get any at all. So if you are dealing with any hair loss, know that it runs in your family, or you're just looking to be prepared for whatever the future may bring, worry not, because Team Theorist is on the case. Now, I am no stranger to sharing my deepest, darkest insecurities here on the channel, and neither are the rest of our team of hair growth volunteers. For the next 10 weeks, we will be giving you the close friends treatment and bringing you along as we try to unlock the secret of what can turn our bare skin into a wonderland of hair growth. To make sure we really find the answer to what works and what should go into the garbage, we are going to focus specifically on topical treatments for this episode and break them down step by step and ingredient by ingredient. These are the most accessible and affordable options for people to test at home. We'll break down those specifics in just a moment, but first, let's dive into week 1 to find out why our volunteers, volunteered.
So, week 1, let's start.
Consider myself a complicated hair person.
So if you can't tell, I just put my hair through a lot. Like a lot. My hair is a trooper. I've been blow drying my hair since I was like in elementary school when my mom would blow dry my hair and like blow dry my bangs before school. And then I started dyeing my hair in high school and I never really stopped. I've been flat ironing my hair also since high school because I really wanted straight hair.
Not gonna lie, that is a lot of hair damage. But that wasn't the biggest issue I was hoping to tackle with this experiment.
So I went through a period of time at the end of high school where I lost a ton of hair due to health issues. And ever since, I've been trying to build my hair back up from that, and it's, to varying success. It is pretty thick. Like, I've always had really thick hair, but I've always been very concerned ever since that time in my life about making sure I maintain that hair.
I come from a family of the deep V, the Dracula V. This is when your hairline starts to recede, specifically at the left and right corners of your forehead, giving you that signature vampire V shape. It's not quite a widow's peak, but you get the idea. Lately, I've started to worry that those edges are getting even thinner and a lot deeper.
I'm really just looking to feel a little bit better about my hair health and my ability to pull my hair back and not feel like I'm always showing a giant bald spot, even though it's not a bald spot.
Well, not yet. Whether this is genetic or a byproduct of the damage my hair has gone through for actual decades, we may never know. But while I love being a vamp, I am not looking to have hair like one. Stephanie and Rachel expressed similar, though less spooky-themed concerns.
But I have big spots right here on the sides of my head especially that feel very thin a lot of the times. It's really hard for me to get to grow really thick hair in these areas, and anytime I lose hair, it comes straight out of that zone. So I feel like I have just this bald patch on the side of my head, and it's really upsetting.
Rachel, my fellow hair dye addict, also had concerns about how the long-term hair damage had changed her hair growth patterns.
I have had such a complicated relationship with my hair, and I have put it through quite a bit. I have dyed my hair a few times up until college, and then I, during COVID, just bleached the whole thing and went pink for a few months, and then that turned red, and then I bleached it again and it turned blue, it turned green, and then I went back to pink. And then at the beginning of this year, I was like, I need to stop. Because I fried it all off, I started to deal with male pattern baldness over the last year or so, and A lot of women don't talk about this. I think it's pretty common.
It is indeed, Rachel. We are all in this together. And speaking of male pattern baldness, let's hear from the men in this experiment. Fun fact,
From what I know, it happens when you get older and older and older. It happens to my grandparents as they aged. But she looks so young. Really?
did try to get some of our male identifying theorists to participate in the hair side of this experiment, but no one was prepared to put their precious hair on the line. Beards, however, were fair game. Dan, a frequent face on this channel, wanted to bulk up his beard hair.
I understand that there are better beards out there, but I look worse without facial hair, in my opinion. You saw it during the shaving episode. I think I look better with some facial hair, and so I would like to feel more confident in the facial hair that I have.
And our second beard bro, Tom, was also looking to fill in the gaps. Weren't you, Tom?
Amy's forced me to be a part of this experiment.
Excuse me? That doesn't sound quite right. Let's try this again. Tom, didn't you ask me to be in this episode because you really
Difficulty class 21, roll 20. Wow.
wanted to see if you could finally grow a beard?
I say forced, no, I quite willingly volunteered because I want a beard. I don't have a beard, and it makes me so sad when I see people like Santi who have such glorious beards.
Aw, don't be
Aww, that's so cute.
jealous, Tom. You are doing great, sweetie. Just remember that Santi refused to participate in this episode because he was too scared to see himself without a beard. I call that a point for game theory. At the beginning of our hair journey, he
So, game theory 1, footers. Don't do that.
Here is where each of our participants is starting off. We'll use these photos to compare our results at each check-in and see how our hair growth progress is coming along. Now, I mentioned that our experiment is going to help us isolate what products actually work and which are full of empty promises. To do this, we will all be using the same products, but each person will have a unique hair growth routine. On Team Hair, we will all be using Rogaine, one of the most popular and recommended topical hair growth treatments to do at home.
I mean, it smells fine. I almost expected it to smell kind of bad, but it doesn't.
So I'll let you know, suddenly it feels like my head's on fire because of the Rogaine. But this is a fun thing. I'm gonna go wash my hands because I don't want to end up in a werewolf situation.
Before this turns into an off-brand Teen Wolf situation, let's get back to the routine. Rogaine's main active ingredient is minoxidil, which is a vasodilator. Oh, you don't know what a vasodilator is? Don't worry, because neither did I before this episode. Vasodilators are medications that open up your blood vessels. This causes your hair follicles to turn down for what? All that new blood flow and stimulation causes your hair to start producing thicker strands of hair protein. Oh yeah, those luscious locks that you
Wow.
love to style and show off, it's
That's, wow, a lot of research done to it.
mainly made up of a protein called keratin, and it is technically dead. Once the hair leaves your head, it's no longer a living part of your body, which is why all these topical solutions focus on what's happening at the root of the problem, your roots. Which brings us to the next step of our hair routine, the biotin shampoo and conditioner. Biotin is a
She makes a very good point. There's a saying in Chinese, 治标不治本. You only fix the outer surface, but you do not fix the roots of it. The core issue.
vitamin that helps produce keratin. And some studies say that having a biotin deficiency can lead to hair loss. Using biotin hair products is said to help nourish your hair follicles and help promote that keratin production, leading to more hair. We'll use this for any and all hair washes moving forward. Now for the differences in our routines. Stephanie and I would be adding a step with our handy dandy derma roller. This mini torture device is basically a roller ball made of needles. You then rub those needles on your scalp to help stimulate blood flow. Or at least that's what the packaging says, but this is what actually happens.
You know when someone tells you that they found ants in their house or like in their room, and suddenly you just feel ants everywhere, all over your skin. You feel the ants crawling on you everywhere, and suddenly it feels like they're in your hair and crawling all over your head and like making a little nest in there. And that's how
And for me, it happens, alright? It happens to everyone, as per mentioned. For me, I learned to ignore. Like, yeah, it's there, but I learned to ignore. It happens more frequently during my 2 years military service. in which, you know, sleeping on a different bed every single night, how to say, I adapted. I learned to ignore for it. It's still uncomfortable, but you know, as you age older, as I become more mature, literally become a boys to men. It's like, it's there, it's still aching, it's still itching, it's irritating, but learn to ignore.
It kind of
Or I was being forced to ignore because I need to sleep. Because I need to wake up early in the morning for weeks, months, years.
feels like ant itches all up and down my head. Not sure how I like that, but I'm willing to give it a try. I think I'll get used to it, but right now it just makes me think there's ants all over my head. Good start.
Steph was also feeling the ants.
It starts off where I'm like, this isn't doing anything. This just feels kind of scratchy on my head. And then 3 hours later, my scalp is really itchy. It feels tingly. It definitely does something, but it's like a delayed effect.
As a final step, Stephanie would also be using a biotin hair mask every 3 showers. A hair mask is basically like if a normal conditioner went Super Saiyan. It's more powerful and hopefully packs a big punch of hair growing nutrients. Over on Team Beard, we had a similar setup. While beard hair is usually more coarse and has thicker strands than head hair, it grows the same way. So we would once again be bringing a biotin product into the mix. Both beard bros would be using a biotin-based beard balm.
Oh, that smells great. I'm gonna be honest, it smells like man. You know the smell. What, the Sasquatch soaps and like all that sort of stuff? It's like, oh, it's cedar. It smells like outdoors. It smells like, you know, starting a campfire and cooking a fish over it or whatever. It smells
Something that appeals to masculine vibes to men.
like that, but it smells delicious. Big win, Amy.
Unfortunately for Tom, being in the UK meant he didn't have access to all of the same products we do here in the US. So while Dan got the really nice smelling product, Tom got a different biotin balm that didn't really have any smell. But he did get the other product, the castor oil. And it was already having him second guess his participation in this experiment.
This is potent. I am smelling the. I know it's just beneath my nose, of course I'm smelling it, but it is potent. And it is not the smell I enjoy.
It turns out that Rogaine and its active ingredient minoxidil are not FDA approved for using on your beard. Instead, the most recommended alternative is castor oil, which is also supposed to increase blood flow to your hair follicles, similar to the Rogaine. However, not all experts agree that this actually works, which is why we're including it in our test. Tom, though, was clearly not a fan.
Because these are meant to be applied directly to beard hair, I could imagine it feeling nicer or different, softening the actual beard hairs if you had like a full beard, but I don't have that. And so it's just my skin now just feels oily and greasy. I'm really hoping it doesn't cause me to break out.
Thank you for your sacrifice, Tom. We'll have to see for ourselves if it actually works, as both Tom and Dan added to their routine. In addition,
Okay, thank you for sacrifice. Thank you.
Dan will also be joining Steph and I on our derma roller train. With products in hand, it was time for our test to really get underway. We had a long road ahead of us, chat, and we needed to be ready for
Chat. You could have said audience, friends. Say chat. Now that is Twitch behavior, live stream behavior.
anything.
To be fair, I also say chat when I'm live streaming, so.
Or as Steph put it,
Good luck to us all.
going into week 2, we were all still adjusting to the new
Week
routines.
2.
Some better than others.
My technique has changed a little bit. My time of day application has been honed in. I feel like I figured it out. And I do also feel like it's working.
Currently, right now, I don't notice much of a difference. Yes, when the product's in my beard, it does feel softer and less wiry. But as far as like growth is concerned, I haven't seen anything special happen. Like over here is a little more grown in, but like beyond that, there's not a whole lot else that has changed.
Oh, to be
To be fair, 1 week have passed. This sort of thing takes a long time. I mean, that's one of the reasons why this experiment is 10 weeks long. The duration is quite long.
Dan and Rachel.
Fun fact, 10 weeks is like around 3 months, right?
Over on
Okay, 2 months plus.
ED Island, Tom and I were struggling.
As I predicted, I have developed more acne because of all of the grease that I'm putting on my face. Like, it's hard to see because some of it's under where the facial hair is, but it's like particularly around my nose and some of like my chin and like cheek area. Like, some of it's kind of gone down now, but I went through an immediate phase of just like outburst within like a couple of days. So that's not ideal for the confidence either. I can hope that it's worth it in the end, and I will have a glorious beard that will rival even Santi. But right now, that is not the case.
How dare that castor oil mar Tom's perfectly British face? It's truly an international incident. Meanwhile, while Tom was struggling with his acne, I was feeling a different kind of pain.
My hair follicles and stuff are very intricately connected to the well-being of my head. And so by that I mean it's like the follicles at the head actively ache. And what that does for me is like trigger headaches and nausea. I will get nauseous when my hair hurts, which is not super great.
The cause of my suffering? The derma roller. See, I didn't call it a torture device for nothing. Derma rollers stimulate your hair follicles by a process called microneedling, which is where the literal needles on the device create small microscopic tears in your skin. This triggers the body to begin its healing process, where it starts pumping more blood to your scalp, which is what we want to get our hair growing, but it also comes with all the stuff your body uses to heal open wounds. The stuff that will then cause your skin to itch. Stay with me for a second. Imagine the itch you get when a regular cut starts to form a scab. Now multiply that by 1,000. That's what's happening on our heads and faces when we use the derma roller. And it was making me sick. But, and this is all caps important, even though I was feeling unwell, because I was using a minoxidil product, I could not take any aspirin. Studies have found that since aspirin is an anti-inflammatory, it can potentially cancel out the effects of Rogaine by stopping an enzyme in our body called sulfotransferase from activating the minoxidil. It's basically the main enzyme responsible for flipping the on switch for the minoxidil and triggering your body to start producing more hair. However,
So AKA it's driving you crazy, it's driving you insane because of the itch, but you cannot scratch it. Wow. I know of a remedy. It's not the perfect cure. Pray, meditate, like have a very strong sense of devotions or dedication to it. It's like I pray in the I don't know why screwdriver. It's like focus on screwdriver, don't focus on the eggs, focus on screwdrivers. Maybe it helps. It helps for me when I'm thinking of aircon because cold air. So yeah.
I wasn't gonna give up, and I was ready to stick it out for the long haul. By the time we reached the end of week 4, my side effects had started to fade.
I don't feel it anymore, but I do think that like the hair dye did a bit more than the Rogaine so far. We'll just see as we keep going what actually is gonna work.
Taking a look at our starting photos compared to our week 4 results, things were looking a little mixed. Rachel and Stephanie reported seeing some positive effects.
I feel like my hair has grown significantly. I've been getting a lot of compliments recently about how much my hair has grown and how long it is. So that's cool.
I've got lots of little baby hairs in this zone, but they're all like an inch long. It's very weird, but I do think they are coming in, and it looks like there are more of them. So that's exciting progress.
On the other hand, I wasn't seeing those results yet. Thankfully though, none of us Rogaine girlies were seeing any extra shedding, which is a possibility during the first few weeks of using minoxidil. But that was the only silver lining. Our beard bros weren't seeing any results yet either.
Day 28 of the experiment beard growth. I don't really have much to say. It's a lot of the same as before. I'm still doing the stuff. I'm still breaking out in acne, which is great. I'm getting less people now comment on the smell. I think people have just either adjusted or they've just given up trying to tell me I smell bad. So take that for what you will. I'm still...
To be fair, that shows that the people around you are understanding and they are able to take in. They show concern and they are nice people, kind souls.
Not noticing any thing with like, these patches, nothing has changed. I honestly worry that the main difference between what I was doing before and what I'm doing now is the vitamins. Even after this, like if this proves to be totally bunk, I don't know if I want to spend the money to see if the vitamins are the thing that work, because it's a lot of money.
To quickly clarify, Dan here is not new to the beard growth treatment. He had tried a system a little while before this experiment, but it hadn't given him the big results he was hoping for, which is what brought him here to our topical experiment, Sans Vitamins. We'll have to see if, by the end of this episode, Dan finds that the topical method pays off better in the long term. It's important to note that while hair growth treatments can have results as fast as 2 weeks, typically it takes a few months to see those miraculous before and after results. For our
She makes a very good point. It takes a long time. And also, I think that's why the reason this is a 10 weeks experiment. This video came out in the year, this year, September, early September. So if you go back 3 months ago, it'll be probably in June. Wow. They started in June. Or maybe even earlier, maybe in May. Wow.
experiment, however, we weren't looking to get the most miraculous results. We were looking to get proof that it was actually working at all, and which steps were giving the most benefits. It's just gonna take a little more time. Entering into week 5, most of us were sitting pretty in the middle of the pack, taking all the small victories that we could find.
I haven't really noticed anything at all. Again, I still stand by the bomb. 1, it makes my face smell great. 2, it makes my very wiry, thin beard a bit softer. At the very, very least, it is making my beard much more enjoyable to have on my face.
I am hopeful. I mean, my hair's gonna grow regardless of this, so it's hard to know if it's going faster or slower than it really was before. I am excited to continue, finish, and to see how much it really works in the long run.
I'm a little...
For me, I mentioned in the start of the video in which back in COVID periods, the global pandemic, my hair started to drop. It's significant to the point in which every single night, it's not every single night for a duration of a couple of months, and just come out this hair. Hair. It's like, it gets worrisome. I tried different shampoos, herbal shampoos, and the shampoo that works for me is baby shampoos. Of course, having said that, I have to shampoo twice because the effectiveness is a shampoo for babies. I'm an adult, so I have to rinse, shampoo, then one more time. So yeah, but it works. Baby shampoo, it works for me.
sad that we haven't seen any change to any of this so far, except they seem a little stronger. These little baby hairs just seem a little tougher, which is not actually what I was going for, but I guess that is a result. So fingers crossed, we got a few more weeks to go.
However, we did have 2 participants getting some bigger results. Stephanie was on cloud 9.
I feel like it's come a long way. I still shed a lot for the record, but I actually feel this week that the stuff we're doing is really starting to work. I don't know exactly if it's the Rogaine plus the roller plus the shampoo, but my hair feels really good.
While Tom seems stuck in the deepest pits of Has-Been Hotel.
I will say.
Sorry. Sorry.
Hey, this has probably been the worst week for my personal confidence. I made a lot of jokes when we started because we were talking about like, oh, it smells funny and I'm breaking out in acne, but this week has been quite bad. I've had a lot of very bad acne this week, to the point where I've been very conscious about going outside and talking to people because I'm aware I've just got these big red marks on my face. We'll see, I guess. Hopefully it gets better, but I want the spots to stop. Please make the spots stop. Amy, please make them stop.
Okay. I can't let my favorite British buddy suffer. Let's see if I can pull a few magical timey-wimey strings and...
Difficulty level 18. Oh, they're doing it again!
Aha!
Huzzah! Amy, threatening you worked because my acne is finally gone. So thank you for making that stop. Appreciate it, friend. I don't know if that's my skin acclimatizing finally to this stuff or whether it is, it's just past and there'll be another wave of it soon, which Yay.
Good to know that I can use my host powers for good. By this point, you may be wondering why it takes so long for anyone to see results. Yeah, it's not just us theorists taking our sweet time. It's the hair itself. The goal of hair growth products is to keep your hair in its active growing phase, also known as the anagen phase. The longer the anagen phase lasts, the longer your hair grows. On average, hair grows about a half an inch per month during this stage, totaling in at about 6 inches of growth per year. By keeping this phase active with our products, we actually reduce a lot of our hair's natural deterioration that happens next in the catagen phase. Lasting about 1 to 2 weeks, this is the phase where your hair follicles shrink and detach themselves from the dermal papillae, which is the part of your skin that provides the oxygen and nutrients to help your hair grow. During this phase, your hair can feel and look thinner than usual. Next is the pesky telogen phase, also known as the resting phase, where your hair isn't doing anything. In addition to making our growing phase longer, our hair growth products are trying to make our resting phase shorter. Without those treatments, this phase can last roughly 2 to 3 months, though it's not all at once. About 10
Oh, no wonder the phase is 10 weeks long. It's literally 2 to 3 months. Literally.
10 to 15% of our hair strands are in the telogen phase at any given moment, which means each individual strand is doing its own thing and not operating as a full head unit. Then you have the last phase, which is the shedding or exogen phase. I am super familiar with this one because I have always shed like crazy. It's why I could never go into a life of crime. I just always leave evidence behind. Though I'm not seeing the evidence that our topical treatments are going to give us the definitive proof that we were hoping for. But they had one last chance to prove me wrong. Coming into week 8, things seem to finally be looking up.
8 weeks has come.
Oh, fun fact, she mentioned about hair growth, right? During COVID periods, a lot of my friends, including myself, we just grew our hair. There's no need to go to a barber because we are not living in the house. So we just let our beard, our mustache grow, everything. My friends got a bun. After 6 months of COVID, it started in March, I guess, April. So 6 months later, it was in October. My friend, like this sort of hair, okay, a bit longer. 6 months later, he started to have a bun. It's like, whoa, 6 months plus maybe like 1 or 2 months, like 7, 8 months. That is from botak all the way until you got a bun. Takes around 8 months for him. It's like, whoa. Actually, you know what? Rounding up 1 year. 1 year of hair growth for an adult to have a bun. So you can tie it up. It's like, wow. I respect all the girls, 1 year of effort. That is 365 days. Just to, yeah. And after that, you still have to maintain it. It's like, wow. Moreover, respect to those girls who have longer hair. My friend's hair was around to the ear level and the chin level. I respect those girls that all the way to the neck level and way past that. It's like, that is dedication, that is effort, but I don't think it's quite practical, right? Like, how do you do laundry? How do you cook? How do you do normal chores? How do you clean the house? It doesn't get in the way.
Come and gone with our old pal Rogan, I think.
But like, for example, her hair right now, I'm gonna presume it's gonna take at least half a decade. Okay, maybe 4 years. Around 4 years to grow that hair. If she was to start clean, just normal hair. From normal hair until that kind of hair, probably take her like 4 years around there. Wow, it's gonna be a long 4 years. It's like an Olympic level. This year is Paris Olympic. If you cut botak and you want to grow until that level, it's next year USA Olympic.
I'm a fan of her. I think she's doing a lot of good things for me.
I feel like I'm starting to see more hairs on my cheeks. My hair's normally quite dark, but I wonder whether it's actually I'm getting more or whether the stuff I'm getting is like thicker and darker, and so it looks more substantial.
Tom, take a lesson from Steph and let yourself have the win.
2 months ago, I was not feeling great about my hair. And I also didn't think that I would be able to make this much progress toward feeling better about it in this amount of time. I haven't historically been a big believer in hair masks in general. And now I actually feel like my hair is soft and full and thicker.
As happy as I was for all of my friends, I was still stuck in camp no progress.
I am at this point just a little bit disappointed because I really want this to work for me. And maybe it's something to do with my hair type, maybe it's something to do with my, hair routine. I'm not sure, but I really was hoping that this would work more for me. That being said, we still have a little bit of time left. Fingers crossed that we see a big boom in the end.
And I wasn't the only one feeling disappointed.
Honestly, I don't think it's doing much still. I'm kind of a little frustrated because I was spending money on it before. And now that I'm paying attention to it, it's almost like it was just kind of, to be quite frank,
This had been a whirlwind of a journey and the longest experiment we've ever done on this channel. When we started, none of us had any idea what to expect. We'd hoped and we dreamed of suddenly sprouting hair like we were Rapunzel or Cool Shaving Ken. But this was where
Rapunzel, let down your hair! Which, let's be honest, if you have that much hair, it's gonna take you decades.
we would see if any of
Oh my gosh, decades. With that much hair, you have to constantly maintain it every single day, every single hour maybe. Wow.
our efforts actually paid off, or if we were just trying to see results where none existed, like some sort of hairy mirage. Looking at my final before and after, I was less than impressed, to say the least. But not as much as Rachel, who was the first person to sing the praises of the treatment and believe in the journey, who held out hope through the whole experiment. While there appeared to be a tiny bit of difference, Rachel felt it was mainly down to the hair dye doing the heavy lifting, and had one thing to say to the Rogaine.
Rogaine, you're trash.
Over on Team Beard, Tom and Dan found that while they weren't seeing any new hair growth, the hair they did have seemed to be thicker and softer.
Has it worked? Yes, kind of. It is hard to say for sure, but there has definitely been some extra hair growth. I think some of the hair is darker as well and is growing longer quicker.
So after comparing myself to the befores, I actually think something did change. It definitely feels like my mustache has gotten thicker and darker. It kind of sits on my face a little better in my opinion. But like everything else didn't do what I wanted it to do. We still have two patches, right? Like literally no change.
Yes, even though their beards were now soft and luscious, the lack of new hair meant that this was a beard filler failure. But amongst all of us losers, there was one winner, Stephanie.
For me, this experiment was really awesome. I definitely filled in the areas of my hair that I wanted to. My hair definitely feels thicker and fuller along the hairline, but my hair also feels healthy. It feels stronger overall, and I feel like I can do more with it without worrying about it constantly falling out, which was definitely a worry when I started this.
Looking at
And it helps with self-confidence. It helps with what do they call it again? Self-honor, dignity, self-confidence.
her before and after shots, it's clear that for Stephanie, this worked. And I think I know why. It all goes back to that little thing Dan mentioned offhand in his check-in, all the way back in week 4.
The main difference between what I was doing before and what I'm doing now is the vitamins.
Yes, the solution to our topical test is not even topical at all. You see, prior to our experiment, Stephanie had been taking a vitamin supplement to help promote hair growth. However, unlike Dan, Stephanie didn't stop taking them at the start of the experiment, something that I wasn't made aware of until after we'd already completed week 10 and seen 0 results except for Stephanie. So, is that the answer then? Is the real secret to regrowing your missing hair vitamins? Well, sort of. While a result of one is a result, I think we need more proof. I want to be able to
True, you need a significantly bigger sample size.
say with 100% confidence that we solved the hair loss problem once and for all.
So here's what I think about this hair growth. I think we found the answer. I think it's nutrition, but I want to prove it. I need to see if I can recreate what Stephanie did. And to
Nutrition. Food theory. Hey, Santi! Hi.
do that, I need to try again. And I'm already starting. I want to make it grow back better and bolder and stronger than ever before.
You see, hair growth
A collab between the style theorists and the food theorists.
is just one problem. One that we are this close to solving for good. But I think we can do one better. Taking a look at all of our journeys throughout this episode, it's clear there is so much more to explore with our hair.
And I want to see if we can actually nail down the secret to perfect hair. Not just for me, but for everyone. Let's consider this a start of a series, a hair series.
Oh my goodness. So, 2024, this is video. 2025, next year, there'll be another video, right? I'm kind of looking forward to it. Like, genuinely looking forward to it.
And we're gonna change everything.
Or we will go bald trying. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. Tired of all that hair? Click here to learn the best way to shave it all off. And I'll see you next Saturday morning.
Well, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Subscribe. Thank you.